Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, all of you out there in crypto nerd land. You know who I am. I'm the real Monty Allen, and I am your crypto nerd. And today you're a day late and algo short because this is yesterday's Algorand news. If you're out there on Twitter, hit hashtag algo news. I will find you in the wild, and you may get featured in tomorrow's Algorand news. So let's see what we've got on the docket today. It's a pretty busy day, and we're going to be Yieldly centric for a good portion of this. But before we dive into that, I want to talk about Vendible. So Vendible just got announced as, a new recipient of the Algorand Foundation, grant award. So basically, Algorand Foundation says, hey, Vendible, we're going to give you some money because you're going to do some work to help incorporate and expand the Algorand ecosystem. We like what you're doing. Keep doing it. Now, I did a little research on Vendible and found their CEO, Douglas, here. Apparently, we got 5 mutual connections, but Douglas and I are not currently connected yet. Come on, Douglas. Let's backtrack a little bit though. Let's look at the press release that was put out regarding Vendible. So Vendible is not new. We'll see that in a second. But primarily, it looks like their incorporation for Algorand was focused on managing identity data, masking decentralized identities. Now, Vendible's been in existence for several years. They are sort of a payment interface. So they want you to be able to pay with crypto for, individual transactions, primarily, possibly for the unbanked. And it could be that they have course corrected over the last 3.5 years or so. But they want to now make sure that if you are paying with, a cryptocurrency, your identity is secure. Now, one of the things about crypto is that, on the blockchain, we can just go to the ALGO Explorer, and if we've got an address, we can see your whole history. Now, that may not be ideal if you're working your ALGO wallet like it's your bank account, because then I can just go look and see, okay, this person spent money here, 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 and here, and, we could check out their spending habits. We've got in the U.S. we've got this commercial now about Apple iPhones, and it's pretty provocative. It's talking about the invasion of privacy. When you go buy a cup of coffee, then they can track all your history there. And if you go buy something at the drugstore, they can track your history there. And if you go buy something, they can track all your history and determine, hey, there's a lot of personal information based on what you were purchasing. It's out there. So this idea of protecting that data, making you anonymous, but still making sure that your identity is confirmed for the transaction and who's getting paid, it's important. Now, here's something though. So Vendible, as I mentioned, has been around for a little while. They are not a new company. They've been around for about 3.5 years. And they have worked primarily with another blockchain, it appears. So you can see there, he's CEO, been around for 3 years and 7 months, since January of 2018. Pretty early, not quite 2017 in blockchain world, but 2018 is pretty early, right? But you see down there at the bottom, there it is, Pivx Ambassador starting at the same time, January 2018. Now, Pivx is a great, coin, crypto. I've actually owned some in the past, and it is primarily based around, payments. So they want to be, a payment system or blockchain currency for the unbanked. Smaller transactions, fast speeds. That's kind of their claim to fame. I think they had some kind of a staking system or some kind of a node system as well, if memory serves me right. But it's been some time since I've covered Pivx. Now, why I'm bringing this up is because maybe Douglas and the Vendible team need to make a course correction because the payment thing wasn't working out quite how they anticipated it. They were worried about some things, and they needed to incorporate Algorand, maybe for smart contracts. They do mention some smart contract information here, or maybe they want to incorporate Algorand as an alternative, something to do with the identity protection. So I know that there are several projects that are working on both of these issues with Algorand. So it's interesting to see Vendible coming to Algorand. They've got to submit an application, I'm sure, to the Algorand Foundation and say, hey, how could I use the ALGO, ecosystem? What that looks like. I wish we had access to that paper, that application. And I wonder what will happen when the new governance systems takes into effect, because I assume that the new governance system, we will have some sort of impact on where the Algorand Foundation spends their money, and will we be able to see these submissions? Are they going to be public? Are some of them going to be public? Will it be redacted? I don't know, but it would be interesting to have access to that sort of information, wouldn't it? So that's just an interesting project. We'll keep watching Vendible. I would love to see that you could spend your crypto on everyday purchases. There's lots of projects that want to get this done. And really, in my mind, that's when a currency becomes a currency. When you can use it for everyday purchases. When I can go down to the grocery store, the drugstore, I can go down, if I could spend it on Amazon, I guess that would be great. If there's, all of, if I can use the currency, then it's great. Otherwise, it's just a store value in my mind. So currency must be used. All right. So now for the ASA section of today's, rant here. So we've got a bunch of Yieldly stuff. Yieldly has been making moves, and I'm jumping more and more into the Yieldly world. And it's a good project. They were just given this nice write-up in. Let me hit the mute button there. In the Algorand Foundation's blog posting here. Doesn't really give us any earth-shattering news. They didn't release any new information here, but they really just kind of summarized everything and gave them a little bit of air support. Right? They've got the bridges, they've got the no-loss lottery, they got staking. It's all the normal stuff. They didn't announce anything new. All the new stuff, I think they're waiting to give the new information, the spotlight over to Seb and the team over at Yieldly. And they have given the typical hey, we're gonna make an announcement. So they're trying to build up a little bit of hype there. I hope that it's not overly hyped. But man, the community is kind of circling back around with them. The community is coming up with all kinds of stuff. Look at this little Yieldly, graphic that somebody put together here. When we're talking about, in crypto terms, what's a whale status? Is that a whale? Is that just a baby whale? There's not even a baby whale on this thing. There's just sharks. Whales, sharks, crocodiles, dolphins. I don't know why there's not a flamingo on here. So I feel like, maybe they just wanted to stick with the ocean references, but I really feel like, we should have went with some kind of a pink flamingo, top tier. Maybe a $10 million person is a flamingoite or something. I don't know. But the community is putting together some cool little graphics there. Mexi, there was a wall last night. It was about 11 million Yieldly, 11.4 million there, holding strong, and it was taken down this morning. As of this recording, it is 9 o'clock Central on Thursday morning, and that wall is down, and it doesn't look like it's going back up. Ladies and gentlemen, so I think that we've broken through that wall. If you follow price stuff on Yieldly, go ahead. I don't make predictions or anything of the nature, but I will report on some interesting things there. I like these projects. I like the fundamentals. I like what's going on with them. I think it's very interesting, and the technology is fantastic. Speaking of technology, some more Yieldly stuff here. So Yieldly team is growing, and here's what they need. They need somebody who's familiar with their technology. They need a front-end developer. And, they've got, look, they list themselves as 11 to 50 employees now, which is an upshot because not too long ago, I think they were at 5 or 6. So Yieldly is growing. They're adding positions in here. And listen, a front-end developer, hey, if you're out there, if you're a Yieldling, if you're Yield Gang, Yield Squad, if you're an Algo fam and you just want to work on an interesting project, go check them out. It's in Australia. I don't know if they want you to work remote or not, but go check them out anyway. But the point is that they are growing. And part of the reason they're growing is because they've got a pretty aggressive roadmap. Now, they released this roadmap. I think this is the original one that came out on TrustSwap. They've done these things, right? They've got no-loss lotteries. Yep, check. We've got staking. Yep, check. We've got the bridge built. Yep, check. They've done all of those things from the Q2 section here. Now, Q3, we're lagging just a little bit. We don't have, multi-coin lotteries or NFT lotteries yet. We don't have any partner staking or any of that kind of thing. But they have just made an announcement, right, that they're going to be updating their roadmap here shortly. And we already know that it's sort of been leaked that, they're going to do, we've seen screenshots of, other ASA staking, specifically Opulus. So we've seen the Opulus token on screenshots and screen grabs. So we know that that is coming. And interestingly enough, so Yieldly released back in May, I think, maybe June. So it's really new, right? For some people, it seems like time flies when you're having fun, doesn't it? But Yieldly's only a couple months into this whole journey. So they launched on TrustSwap via their launchpad. Now, there have been rumblings on the interwebs. Now, I'm not going into straight up BitBoy territory here, but there have been mentions, and some by part of the the Yieldly team, some by just advisors or unofficial, I should say. That's a better word. Unofficial contacts that Yieldly is also looking at a kind of a launch pad of their own. Now, that is not on their roadmap. It would be interesting to see if a launch pad is on their roadmap when they release it, hopefully a little later on today, maybe tomorrow. We'll see what happens there. But I think there's a lot of value in creating an Algorand-specific launch pad. Yieldly has a huge audience. They have clearly shown the ability to raise funds themselves now because of all the attention that they have, all the staking that's going on there. If you had the opportunity to stake and get some rewards, or invest in some new projects there that might give you some rewards as well, in the return on investment, I think that Yieldly has a wide enough audience now and enough algo staked there to warrant some type of a launchpad activity. So it'll be interesting to watch that, and I hope that actually comes to fruition because I'm a fan of what Yieldly's doing. If Yieldly can launch some other projects that it will help them, it's kind of like, hey, let us help you help us, kind of a thing. And I think that will help the whole community all the way around. So there you have it. One new project on the Algorand blockchain and a bunch of Yieldly news. So stay safe out there, and we'll see you tomorrow.